Happy New Year, SOA!
I'm your host, Amy.
And I'm your host, Tripp Carrington, and welcome back to the Whistle Notes Podcast.
Today we are joined by SOA vocal alumni Tripp Carrington Ryan Hinske.
Hey everybody,
Hey guys, I'm Ryan.
I'm Tripp. Hope that you had a wonderful holiday.
Me too. Holiday? Well guys, New Year's just happened, and I have a burning question to ask you. What did you do for New Year's?
Okay, I guess I'll go first. I stayed home with my brother.
Ah, who is that?
It's you.
Ah,
And I fell asleep early at 11:30. So I woke up the next morning and it was 2025, and I felt completely different. But I didn't get to see the ball drop. Yeah. What about you, man?
First of all, I want to thank you guys for having both of us on.
yeah, of course.
I'm really excited for this. I went to Nantahala National Forest and hiked 5 mountains in the span of 2 days for New Year's, and that was really fun because I like to get out there and be one with nature.
Yeah, me too. I like that too.
Really?
I just didn't do it that night.
Well, y'all are alumni of SOA.
It's true.
Tell us, what you're doing now.
Right now, I'm home now for the holidays, but usually I'm at University of Southern California in Los Angeles, studying English, pre-law, gonna go to law school after this, and just having a grand old time.
Ryan?
And I'm up in Chicago, other major city,
Oh.
and I'm at DePaul. You act surprised, like you don't know.
We all know.
Yeah, DePaul University, studying sports journalism. So one of you guys for sure. And I'm a senior this year, so I'm graduating in June, and I'm really excited.
Okay, well, like I said, y'all are alumni, and Ava, they were both in vocal, right?
They were.
Well, what did you guys do in vocal?
Most of it was singing. Most of it.
Yeah.
But
Well,
we.
how did you carry it into college?
Oh, yeah, good question.
You go ahead and start that one.
Well, it's pretty similar for both of us, but I'm part of DePaul Men's Acapella, DMAC for short. Shout out to my guys. It's 17, 18 of us, and we like to go on retreats and perform for the school.
Are you the beatboxer?
No,
Okay.
I'm a bass, as I was in high school.
It's true.
Tripp?
I also am in an a cappella group, the Trojan Men. Find us on YouTube at USC. We're the only.
We're on YouTube too.
Oh, nice. We're also the men's a cappella group of our university. You saw us perform.
In what position?
I am the president. I didn't want to say it.
I made him say
The
it.
president of the group. I will say too, if you're asking how we continue singing into college, it's really hard to do. I would say if I have any advice for the people that are still at SOA, definitely don't take for granted that you get to do the art of your choosing every day, because I think that was something people overlook, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, definitely don't take that for granted, because it's less and less time
Yeah.
to pursue that later.
Yeah.
If you don't choose that route to go in college.
Yeah.
What's your most memorable moment at SOA?
Les Mis.
Yeah, probably Les Mis.
Yeah.
Which we did, what was that, 2022, April, so a while ago.
Yeah.
Almost 3 years ago. And
The olden times.
yeah, and that was notable for us because we were supposed to do it our sophomore year, so 2020, which is kind of
As we all know.
an infamous year now because of
Yeah.
COVID. The cast list for Les Mis came out the day that they announced lockdown.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm making
It was the next day.
Yeah,
It was a
something like
Friday, and then Saturday they said no school Monday for the next 2
Yeah.
weeks. So
So just for the next couple of years, we were just because we had gotten the parts that we ended up getting to do, and so we were just hoping that someday we would get to see that through. And everybody else that had been cast graduated by the time we actually got to do it. 2
yeah,
years
we were
later.
the only two that were still cast from the original cast.
So it was a very hopeful time because it was obviously very sad to be home all the time, and that was kind of, at least for me, I think for you too, just
Yeah.
kind of represented man, I hope that we
it
can
kept us going.
hope we can get back. So we were working on that for a long time. So that was definitely getting to see that through. Finally, that was very rewarding.
When it happened, it was like, wow, this has been a goal of mine since more than halfway. Like more than half of my high school experience
Yeah.
was preparing for Les Mis, which is not normal.
No.
So it was so great when it was over because but it was also not great when it was over because it was like, what now?
Yeah, what now?
You know?
But you found yourself on your feet, man.
You did too.
Good for you. Yeah. So that's my answer.
So, Les Mis, most memorable moment.
Mm-hmm.
Being
Yeah.
on stage at the Gale Yard.
Yeah. Cool.
Sold out crowd.
Right. Yeah. Yes.
You take bows. You see how many people on the stage?
Okay. Yeah.
All your friends, your family.
Well, most of my friends were behind me, and
Oh.
that was the best part about it. I mean, no, you get what I mean. I mean, well, behind everybody,
Yeah.
because that's the other thing. Like I said, we get to do art every day, and then you get to do it with your friends that you
Yeah.
meet in high school. So yeah, that's
Friends who become your family.
Yeah. Well, you
Like
all
y'all are
shared
brothers. Y'all are brothers.
Yeah, we're brothers.
Yeah, I say brother.
We shared that moment with a lot of people who
Yeah,
worked
dude.
really hard on it. So
Oh, it was crazy. Yeah.
And you could tell they worked really hard on it.
Go watch the YouTube video.
Thanks, man.
It's out there.
I think it's
10 films.
It's unlisted.
It's on.
Well, I mean, what musicals should we do in the future? SOA.
Seriously,
What
you
should
want my-
SOA do in the future? Wow. Good
Okay.
question.
Man, kind of the wrong guy to ask, I guess.
I mean,
I
y'all
would-
were both vocal majors.
It's true.
Y'all were both.
I thought Sound of Music was pretty good.
I was hoping for Sound of Music to see it not to, because it's kind of weird going back when you know nobody, but this year's kind of the last year where like I knew you and Emma, of course, and that, you know, I wanted to see Sound of Music. So now that that's happened, I feel like I don't really have like a big one that I'm like, wow, they should do this.
So we should stop doing musicals.
no, of course not. Oklahoma, that'd be good.
That's what we're talking
They've
about.
been
Oh, really?
They've been talking
Oklahoma?
about that forever. When we were freshmen, all of our parents got an email and it was like Oklahoma rehearsals.
Oh, I like the show. I hope they do it. But
Yeah, I want to see them do Jekyll and Hyde, if I could pick. Honestly, seriously.
I have no idea.
He sings it all the time, and you know he'd be good for the lead. But I'm biased.
Well, don't sing right now.
Not now.
no one wants to.
And all that music is copyrighted, so you can't.
Yeah.
I won't. I won't.
Yeah. And you were told before we started by Ava Davis that you can't break out into song during this. So please.
Yeah.
Okay.
We all know who's in
Fine.
charge here.
All right. Ask another question.
I mean, SOA, it's an art school. It's different from, let's say, Burke High School.
Yeah, speed it up. Speed it up.
How do you think being in this art school prepared you for college?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so many ways, I would say. Like, actually, like on a serious tone, like it really did, like in a lot of ways, prepare me for college. In a different way than a, like, traditional high school would have. And I think it was like, really good, like, core classes. Like, we had great teachers.
Yeah.
Who really set us up for success, who really paid attention to everyone and made sure that everyone was taken care of. And I think that was a big thing on the academic side. And then I also think like learning an art is something that trains a lot of the areas of your brain that you might not think about. I don't know the specifics. I'm not a neuroscientist. I'm a journalist, but I feel like sometimes I find myself using some of the disciplines I learned in singing, like, you know, in journalism.
Absolutely. I'll
In some
piggyback
ways.
off of that a bit. I think collaboration is one where and you can get this, I think, in a lot of ways. You can play sports and you can get this, but definitely 90 minutes a day being with the same people and working towards a common goal, at least for vocal, and I think that's pretty true for most of the other majors too. That helps. Also with discipline. I think setting a goal, because we're always setting up performances or creating like long-term projects, and learning how to focus on something that you probably won't see the rewards of for a long time is really important. Because I think college, when you go into a completely new type of environment, sometimes you're like, oh man, what am I working towards? So to be able to know that reward is coming eventually, I think is important.
And when you join something like, let's say like the school newspaper is what I do, and the radio station, it is, again, like being with a group working towards a common goal, and it tends to be a larger group than like a club in high school. So it takes a lot more organization, in the same vein as it was in vocal, where there were 100 of us, right? And it's hard to organize that many people. So I think organizing something like that with a college radio station or something like that is, you get that training in high school at SOA.
So what at college is different from SOA? like differences that kind of were like, oh, this is hard to adjust to?
Yeah, for sure.
Hard to adjust to. Yeah. I think some of the good things were making your own schedule. Like, it's not 7 hours of being at school. It's like maybe you have a class at, maybe you like later classes, maybe you like earlier classes.
Yeah.
You can sort of
Night school?
choose that.
Actually,
I don't do that.
Absolutely, though.
Yeah, but you can do
Yeah.
that. Yeah. I think some of the harder things would definitely be, at least for me, the weather, like getting
Oh,
to school.
yeah.
I don't live super close to class, and actually, like genuinely in Chicago, it's like actually cold. Like actually, like bone-chillingly cold. So I have to
the weather is, you'd say it was cold.
Yeah, actually, like when I go back in 2 days. Well, actually tomorrow. When I go back tomorrow, it's going to be like negative, like with wind chill. So
That's
it's
crazy.
it's genuinely like difficult to get to class, and you have to will yourself because there's a lot of my classes don't have like attendance rules. You have to will yourself to like get up and go.
Okay.
It's one thing when it's 80 degrees.
I was going to
sunny
say,
out
Los
there.
Angeles, the weather is so hard.
But it's another to like do the 15-minute walk to class, to be in class for 90 minutes, to then take the 15-minute walk back home. A
Yeah.
lot of times it's like, I really don't want to do that, and I have to like force myself.
That's a good point, is that you have to learn how to, because I think the consequence, the relationship between not doing something and facing the consequences for it is way more outlined in high school.
Oh yeah.
It's like if I don't go to class, I'm probably going to get in trouble.
Yeah.
And in college, it's like, you're just going to...
You have to rely
you
on
are in
yourself.
trouble, but you're not going to... No one
Yeah.
is going to slap you on the wrist. It's just later you're going to be like, I didn't learn whatever.
You
it
have to
is
be
today."
self-sufficient.
Yeah. So I think
Whereas-
that's the
yeah.
biggest difference. And also,
Yeah.
with vocal, knowing the same people 90 minutes every day, you don't get that in college. You have to find your own sort of thing. And that was hard at the beginning, for sure. I think for a lot of people.
Find your own people, find your own plan, right?
Find your own group, join a group, join a club.
It's a lot different.
It is.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But how are y'all's stats to be able to get into such incredible schools?
Okay, here's
Like,
what I'll say about that. I'm going to cut you off.
Yeah.
I would say that always do your best. I'm just saying what everybody probably already says. Obviously, you want the best numbers, but it's sort of like, oh man, I don't know if this is the analogy that I should make, but getting into a college is sort of like, it's like a relationship. Like, you have to like the school and they have to like you, and everyone's so worried about the school liking them. So it's like, oh, I have to have the best numbers so I can get into this school, my dream school. If I don't get there, like everything's ruined. But it's really not like that. I mean, you're trying to go somewhere that's a good fit for you. So even if you think your stats or whatever you're talking about, your stats aren't ideal or what you want them to be, first of all, you're in your second year. So if you don't like your stats, maybe you should study more. And second of all, it isn't all about the numbers. There are writing samples that you have to do, and you'll find the place that you're supposed to be. I really believe that.
I believe that absolutely
Yeah.
too. And it is a two-way stream. And I think one of the biggest struggles for people at SOA is that there is like a high expectation, and I think there is more pressure than at like I felt a little bit overwhelmed.
It was terrible.
With the like sort of culture that was built, that was like, I have to get into this school, and if not, then I'm screwed. I am 21, and I know there is still so much time to figure it out.
Yeah.
It's okay if you're in high school and you don't get into that school, or even that batch of schools that you wanted that was maybe a reach. It's okay. You'll figure it out. There's so much time. I think people have a problem with
that first semester. Congratulations to the seniors that it's over, because that first semester is brutal, and then some of the second semester is too, because it's exciting because it's like, oh, school's over, but it's also like everybody's getting in and it's really stressful. But after that, it's over.
Just focus on yourself.
Everyone forgets.
Don't worry about your friend who's like getting into this school. Like, you are in charge of your own journey. You're gonna go do your own thing. Don't worry about the other people's, like, oh, I got into this, and then you have to get yourself up to what you think is like the standard. That does not matter at all.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
What colleges did you apply to?
Oh, jeez.
12. I'll just say the number. I know it was 12, but I couldn't say the some of the specifics.
Harvard?
A few in Chicago, not Harvard. No Ivies. He did more Ivies than I did.
Yeah.
I didn't want to go.
That's exactly why when I say if you don't get into the school you want, it's okay. Because I applied, I'll just say, I think it was 17 or 18 schools. Because I applied through Questbridge, which, you know, it kind of waives all those application fees. So I was just like, I'm going to apply to as many schools that are on here. And I got into 3 of the 18. Because most of them are really, you know, those schools. So yeah, I applied to Yale, and I didn't get in. And USC was like, their decision came out, I think at the end of like all the big schools, and I hadn't gotten into any of them. And I was like, man, I was really disappointed. And then I remember getting in and being relieved. And I think that in a way was wrong. Like I shouldn't have been relieved that I got into somewhere. I should have been excited because once I got there, I was like, oh man, you know, whatever, Yale, whatever. They're, you know, and I'm sure that would have been great too, but it's just different. It's a different fit, and maybe I couldn't see why I shouldn't be there at the time, if that makes sense. And they were like, oh, this guy, he needs to be somewhere else. You know,
I can't imagine being anywhere else than DePaul. And more broadly, Chicago. I can't see studying and learning in any other place. So.
Right. So it'll come to you.
Yeah.
What were the 3 that you got into?
I got into USC in California, Georgia, and Clemson. And, you know, it was, I was definitely, Georgia didn't give me any money, so I wasn't going to go there. But Clemson and USC, I was like, I don't know, because there is a big difference between going to LA and staying home. And that is the one thing that has been hard, is not being home.
Away,
Yeah, because you can't fly home for Sound of Music. You know, I didn't get to see that, things like that. And that's hard. But it's also really good to step out of your comfort zone and meet a whole different group of, not that people are really different in LA, but you do meet people that you probably wouldn't meet at other places. So yeah, it's a double-edged sword, but it works out for sure.
And DePaul was number, I think, like 8 out of my preferences, and I like shouldn't have ranked them.
Yeah, the ranking is wrong. I agree. Yeah,
like if I get into this school and get this amount of money, I'm going to choose it. No, it was when I really thought about it, and I had looked at my schools that I was admitted to. It was like originally Xavier was higher ranked than DePaul, and I was like, in December when I had those 2 lined up, I was like, now I can compare them, and it was like I shouldn't have ranked them earlier because it was such an easy decision.
Because when we toured schools in Chicago together, and right after we went through DePaul, I was like, yeah, you're gonna go there.
Yeah,
I could just tell. So all the things that you read on the internet, do your research, for real. Do your research.
I've done mine.
No, I believe that. Yeah, I'm really talking to him. Do your research, but know that there are factors that you can't really see on the computer. Yeah. If you can tour campuses, definitely do.
Well, you said it's the place you're at, not the college. Chicago. You couldn't see yourself being anywhere else.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. It's cold, and you in LA, it's hot.
Well,
how would you describe your campus? I mean, besides the words cold and hot.
cold and hot. I wouldn't describe my campus as hot at all. LA isn't really hot most of the time. It's the same temperatures here, except there's no moisture in the air, so it's never humid.
But it feels hot.
No,
not really.
It's not really.
Not really.
It's kind of chilly.
I was just there. I just visited him.
Yeah.
It's not. I guess it was December.
Winter.
How would you describe the campus? Because I walked.
I would say it's very interesting because it's really part of the city. They say that DePaul is the front porch of Chicago.
Really?
Yeah. So they try to say that.
What's the back porch?
I don't know. The lake probably.
Is there a lake?
Yeah, there's a lake. It's Lake Michigan.
Lake Michigan.
Very famous.
I've heard of that.
Yeah. It's the greatest of the Great Lakes. But anyway, I would say there's 2 campuses. You take the L train, which is one of the most famous things in Chicago because it's above ground. It's not a subway. You take the train from one campus to the other. One is in downtown and feels very like corporate and everyone's like dressed up, and then the other one feels more like an actual college campus. But they're both in the city, so it's very different from like even your school is all together, and it's very like it feels very more pedestrian friendly, and like there's no cars on the streets.
I call it a bubble, really.
Yeah.
More than anything, because it's like, it's a campus. But I'm not in a college town, because Los Angeles is definitely not a college town. So it's sort of like there's the campus, And then right outside the campus, it's like, whoa, okay. You walk in and you're in downtown LA.
Compton.
Complete, not quite, but kind of. It is pretty close. So yeah, all of that is right around. But I would say USC and LA, not like DePaul, which is sort of part of the city. They are pretty separate.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Did you apply to UCLA?
I did not. I hate UCLA.
We don't like them.
Really?
Yeah, no, because I hate them now. This is what I would say about, first of all, UCLA wasn't on they're not like a partner with Questbridge, which is how I applied, so I never really thought about it. But I will say this, which is that you guys still do Powder Puff, right?
Yeah.
Of course.
Every year when Powder Puff happened, I was like, I don't understand how everyone cares so much about it. I was always like, I was always like, it seems like they're pretending, like the juniors versus the seniors. I was like, I don't think that it really matters who wins that much. And then I went to USC, and there were the USC-UCLA games, and I was like, oh no, they're serious. Yeah, because I really, I don't actually hate UCLA, but I'd like to see them fail in every way.
To the rival.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ava, what's your dream school?
UCLA?
Oh, is that right? No, I didn't know that. That's cool. It's a great school.
Well, UCLA and NYU were like my top.
Oh yeah. Nice.
Really. Everyone, I was over my fall break, I was in a place called Dana Point, which is a really nice, like, I don't know, a lot of people go there for breaks. And we ran into somebody in a UCLA hoodie, and I was wearing my USC hoodie. And she came right up to me, and she was an alum. She was, in her 30s or 40s. She said, you know what everyone that goes to USC has in common? They all applied to UCLA. And I was like, that's kind of true. Like, I know a lot of people that go to USC that applied to UCLA and didn't get in. But I'm very happy to be where I am, I will say. I think the Trojans are better.
Yeah. Well, I feel like we've talked about this a lot.
Okay.
School. I want you to say some words to comfort the seniors in our high school.
All right.
They're going into college. They don't know. It's like a mountain. You know how you climb mountains?
Yeah.
They got to climb this mountain.
Yeah.
They got to do this thing.
Yeah.
How are they going to do it?
We get it.
Comfort them.
Yeah.
We sort of did that already. But I mean, it's going to be okay. That's what I would say.
Yeah.
Because going to high school is kind of scary too. Not as much, but especially at SOA where there's middle school and high school. These guys. And if you come in later than some people, it's like, oh man, am I going to make any friends? So that's one thing about college that's nice, is that everybody's coming in at the same time. So they're all equally scared. But I don't know, take it as it comes and you'll be all right. You'll find your people.
I would say I was thinking something along those lines, where it's like if you're thinking about going somewhere kind of far where you're not going to know anybody, and then you maybe like you're in your situation, right? Clemson is closer to home.
Yeah.
I would say it's 4 years, take the shot.
Really?
I would say go
Nice.
away, go see somewhere else, and if you're not that kind of person, that's okay, right? If you think Charleston's your place, Charleston's your place. If you're kind of on the fence, you don't know if Charleston's your place, go try somewhere else.
That's true.
That's what I think.
If you have the opportunity to,
If you have
and if it makes sense,
If you're
there's
that
a lot of
senior.
factors, but all other things equal, I would say that it's pretty valuable.
But on a broader level, what Tripp said.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
Of course.
Well, I was watching Thor Ragnarok the other day.
Great.
And there's a quote from that movie that Odin says.
Oh, I know it.
It's not the place,
It's the people.
it's the people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good movie.
So seniors, I just want you to know, it's not where you go, it's who you end up with. And I have a lot of experience in that topic, and I just want to
Yeah, thanks, Beckett.
put
he
my,
has no experience.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Claim from the heart. That's all I wanted to say.
Let's hear from Ava.
Yeah, I was about to say, I want to know what Ava has to say.
Yeah, I don't really have much to say on
On that.
Well,
What about anything else?
we've talked about college long enough.
Yeah.
And we've talked about college on this podcast that me and Ava had.
Oh, I see where this is headed.
Oh,
Just do it
man. I just
faster.
wish our guest at some point might have had a podcast of their own.
Oh, yeah. There's the
Wait.
Yeah.
What's
Wait, we
Pavement
did.
Sweat?
Yeah.
Yeah, Pavement Sweat. You should talk about this.
Well, yeah, I will say there was more. I think more people. I'm throwing a shot at one anonymous person who painted over the parking spot that plugged Pavement Sweat.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah.
Wow.
I went to the school recently, and my spot had been painted over by a very boring, like one color.
Aw.
And I was like, why?
Is it a tree by chance?
I don't remember, but before it said Pavement Sweat, and it was a basketball court, which is like perfect dimensions for a parking spot when you think about it.
Yeah.
But we had a sports talk podcast in high school, and we'll probably do a special for March Madness as we typically do because it's the greatest 2.5 weeks in sports, 3.5
Probably
weeks
in life.
And yeah, true.
Every year, seriously.
But yeah, that's what we did. We would go on once a week and talk about sports and just have a good time.
And he came to me with the idea because, correct me if I'm wrong, but it was for your portfolio to apply to schools, right?
Yeah.
Because you knew that you were going to do sports journalism.
Yeah,
type stuff.
I was pretty much going to do some form of extracurricular sports coverage, no matter what,
Right.
whether Tripp was in it or not.
Right, exactly. So, but there's a lesson to be learned there, which is that, like, if you think that you're going to do something, take active steps towards it. Because it was really fun for me to do it, but that's kind of all. It was just like fun, and I enjoyed doing it.
It became that for me too.
Right.
It was like it's not, and this is another piece of advice for seniors. It's not just a resume thing.
Oh, yeah. Don't ever do anything purely for the resume. But
No.
if you have something that you think would be fun, which if you want to do that in the future, probably should be fun to you anyway.
Yeah.
Just do it, because it was fun for me, but it was like, it was a little more important to you, I think. So, yeah, good
Well,
time.
we don't do this for the resume. We do it for the love of the community.
Yeah. That's
Nice,
great.
dude. That's
I
great.
hope colleges hear that.
Yeah.
All right.
That's actually pretty good.
Yeah, you
I gotta
did.
hand it to you.
Thanks.
You did all right.
So
And
what
I love Pavement Sweat. I want to watch some of these episodes. Where can we find these episodes? These past episodes?
Wherever you get your podcasts.
Yes, wherever you get your
Spotify, Apple, right? Yeah, they're on those
They're there.
too. I think that's it.
How did y'all do that? Like, how did you put them?
There's a website that'll do it for you. I forget what it's called, but there's a website that'll it's for free,
Yeah.
and it'll upload. Maybe you have to watch an ad or two, but yeah, not hard. Look into it.
Are y'all still releasing episodes every year?
Once
Kind of. Yeah. I mean, it's like
Yeah.
whenever we can, and it's always March Madness.
Yeah.
We do a bracket thing typically every year. So
They're arguing over who gets to ask the question. I know it's a very hard thing, No, yeah, we do one a year.
Yeah.
One a year. I wish we could do more, but he's,
well, you're super busy.
Well, we're busy, but you do plenty of the stuff.
Oh yeah.
You do plenty
and
of
you
that.
do too, man. You do some Trojan stuff,
Yeah, I do. Oh, that's
Basketball
true.
stuff.
Yeah, I guess I do some sports things all the time.
which is great.
It is.
There, something's going on.
These guys.
I know about that. You went the wrong spot.
I want to hear.
So we thought about sports podcasts, and we have got some fire round questions.
Which
We're gonna-
Ava's gonna ask.
Yeah,
Which
Ava's
I'm
gonna
gonna
ask
I
five.
want Ava. I
Oh,
want
oh,
Ava. I definitely.
I'm gonna ask five.
Everyone wants
All
Ava.
right, go ahead.
Everyone.
2-1.
Celtics or Lakers?
Should have been Cavaliers or Lakers.
I think.
Should have been.
Sick.
Like, who do I
Celtics
root
or
for?
Lakers.
Lakers. I live in LA, so.
Well, this is a good one because actually, this is a good question because it will allow me to say, yes, I'm a Cavs fan. However, if LeBron's playing, I'm cheering for LeBron.
Yeah, Lakers.
Okay.
I'm just a Lakers fan, and I think that's allowed.
I'm a
Okay.
Cavs fan, and we're 30-4.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
not too
We're
shabby.
best team in the league.
New York Knicks or New Jersey Jets?
Oh, had to look at your paper.
I did.
New Jersey, they do play in New Jersey.
Yeah, no, that's true. I'll say I always liked the Knicks for some reason. I don't know. I didn't like Carmelo Anthony when he was there, but I do like them, and they're great right now. I like Jalen Brunson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers plays for the Jets, so New York Knicks.
You're an anti Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, he played for the Packers. I live in Chicago. You know.
Okay.
So you're just a bandwagon.
He owned the Bears for like a long
When you
time.
live somewhere,
Yeah.
you're not a bandwagon anymore.
So I'm like kind of a Bears fan.
Yeah, it's not the place, it's the people. It's LeBron.
Well, all my friends are Bears fans.
And he cares about his friends.
I care about my friends because they go through a lot as Bears fans. So
It's true.
Yeah.
But they have a Trojan at quarterback. They're going to be okay.
They do. They'll be
Fight on.
Caleb Williams.
Clemson or Carolina?
Aren't
Neither.
Good question.
Neither.
Well, choose one.
Clemson. Yeah.
Good.
Carolina.
That's crazy.
Carolina.
Yeah, so Michael
This is
Jordan
my
or
favorite
LeBron
sport.
James?
LeBron.
No, stop. That is so.
LeBron.
That is so annoying.
Well, I want to hear her ask.
Yeah.
That was like the whole point.
And that
of
was-
this.
You can ask it.
Yeah.
You can ask.
No, but there's multiple questions before that.
Oh, okay.
Duke or North Carolina?
Duke or North Carolina? Oh, that's
a good question. Ooh, that's a really good question.
I kind of like both. Kind of opposite the last question, but I will say North Carolina because their former head coach, all-time great, we're talking basketball now, Roy Williams, big Charleston guy. He comes to a lot of Charleston baseball games. Charleston and UNC have played each other a lot in basketball, with one of the biggest wins in history for CFC being against North Carolina. So I'll say North Carolina. But I like when both do well. I love when they play each other. Best rivalry in sports, hands down.
It's the best rivalry in sports for sure.
I'm glad you said so.
And every year I tend to go back and forth.
Yeah, right?
Depending on players and coaches.
Because Duke has had Zion when he was there, hard not to root for him.
Yeah. I was gonna say I was a Duke fan.
Zion
then Williamson.
Yeah.
That when he played there, I was more of a Duke guy, and then I would say now I tend to I liked Baycott when he played for UNC. So I go back and forth. So I'm not gonna pick one. I'm not gonna anger anybody.
Yeah.
I angered enough Clemson people as it is.
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll be getting emails about it.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So these are kind of obvious, but UCLA or USC?
USC, man. Come on, man.
But
And you
okay,
too.
but think about it like sports-wise. Like,
Sports.
talk about
Who's
it
a better
like,
sports school? USC.
Yeah.
But
No
why?
question.
What's
Well,
their-
first of all,
The
USC
history.
is the arguably, I would say, in the top 4 or 5 most storied football programs in history. Number one. I don't think we're the top one, but we're up there. UCLA is a better basketball school. Baseball, USC has the most national championships in history.
Okay.
So I think they're water polo. We're both good. But, and then that matters. You
Best sport to
don't
watch
think
in
it
the
matters, but it does. Because when you're in LA, everybody plays. Well, not everybody, but like everybody at least watches water polo. Those games you get. What they'll do, they'll get in the pool and they will go weeks without trimming their nails, their fingernails and their toenails, so that under the water, because they're treading water the whole time, just kicking like this, they'll be kicking each other and cutting each other on the leg with it. It's crazy what they'll do.
That's
Wow.
actually
Crazy.
crazy.
Yeah. So USC.
Ferocious.
And I'll leave it. Yeah, USC. I mean, the history too.
It is close because of basketball.
Yeah.
But I'll go USC. Yeah.
Wait, Ava, did you just give me permission to ask the next fire round question?
You can ask the next 3.
All right.
DePaul or Marquette?
Marquette. So this is a good question because it allows me to say my brother goes to Marquette, and they are traditional rival schools. So Marquette is about an hour and a half north of Chicago in Milwaukee, which is I like to say Milwaukee's my favorite suburb of Chicago, which
you
is
like the
kind of like a
Bucks?
shot
I
at
understand.
Milwaukee. I like the Bucks. We both love Giannis.
Big Giannis fan.
But he's probably gone due to the
agree.
problems. If Doc Rivers was my coach, I would leave too.
Wow.
But
I thought he was on the Clippers.
he was many years
Doc
ago.
Rivers was a Clipper,
You
like-
are at least you're living in the Pavement Sweat era right now.
That's when
things
he was.
change. Things.
I stopped.
You know, when Pavement Sweat, like kind of when we went to college, things still happened after that.
You know NBA 2K19?
Yeah.
That's where all my knowledge comes from.
Okay, got
Sorry.
it. So that tells me all I need to know. But
Yeah.
I would, I go to DePaul, but Marquette's much better at sports. Much better. It's
I
not
have to
even
agree.
close.
But when I watch, because a lot of the Big East basketball games are on Fox Sports 1, and when DePaul's playing, I'll click on it and I'll be like, I hope that they lose by less than 50.
That's what it used to be, but
But
now
they're
it's
good
more
now.
like,
They're
can we beat Providence? Because we went to overtime with them.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
I did.
We're gonna win Big East games this year.
I'm proud of you.
Easily.
For sure.
Yeah.
You can go.
Bulls
Is
or
this a joke?
Pistons? Bulls or Pistons?
Are you like-
interesting? This is a good question.
Like,
Are you
who's
saying better?
Yeah, or like
All
I
time.
don't ask Ava.
It's kind of just like this or that. Like, you can choose
This or
what
that.
you want.
Bulls.
Bulls. Yeah. Bulls.
That's a bad question.
Okay.
Pistons?
You're the one
DeMarcus-
this is your
No.
show.
Yeah.
Andre Drummond?
Yeah,
Pissed
he's
in
a
a
legend.
long time ago.
Is he retired?
No,
No, but
He used to be my fave.
he still plays basketball.
I got it.
Well, no, I'll say it.
Yeah, let me do it.
Yeah.
Charlotte Hornets or Atlanta Hawks?
Right now, Hornets.
I like the Hornets.
Trae Young,
LaMelo Ball,
right?
fun to watch.
Yeah.
Trae Young.
But I prefer LaMelo. Right
I prefer LaMelo.
Yeah.
I thought he retired. Carmelo Anthony.
LaMelo.
LaMelo Ball.
Oh, Ball. Sorry.
Michael Jordan or LeBron James?
LeBron.
Here we go.
LeBron.
Oh, you said it. Oh.
Yeah, it would be better if we disagreed, but we agreed.
We agree on, one thing with Pavement Sweat is that we'd always try to put in a reason why LeBron's the GOAT, and that was years ago, and he's even more separated himself.
He just last night, well, not when you're listening to this, but on the day of recording last night, he passed Michael Jordan for the most 30-point games of all time.
Yeah.
And he did have a birthday, and I do want to say happy birthday, LeBron.
Happy birthday, LeBron. January 30th. He's 40 years old, and he is still the greatest.
Still in his
He's so good.
ripe prime era.
He's
I
still
don't agree
good.
with that,
He's
but
still great.
But he's great, yeah.
No, he's not in his prime, that's for sure.
He said he could play for 5
I
to
said
7
right.
more. Did you hear that?
When he was in his prime, you weren't
Alive.
like, yeah.
Well,
You
But you
were
weren't
too young to
When
remember.
did he go to the Cavaliers?
15.
14.
10 years ago.
Yeah, I know, that was crazy.
Dude, that
End of
cover,
14.
the cover, 2K14.
Yeah.
Y'all know what I'm talking about.
I do.
Yeah. Well, guys, we've talked about sports long enough. Going back to SOA, y'all won the best bromance superlative.
That's true.
We did.
Yeah.
The
Tell us
secret's
about
out.
that.
Tell us about that. Well, I think what happened was there was a Google form that was sent out and people voted. That's how superlatives work.
I think that me and Ava could win best bromance.
I don't think that that's how that works.
Possibly.
It could be.
I'm
There-
thinking.
well, I would say
How did that even
the reason we won.
Many
The
reasons.
reason
We've talked about the reasons.
The reason
on
y'all
this
won
show.
were because
Pavement,
y'all are brothers.
True. Pavement Sweat is one of the reasons for sure.
Yeah, that was definitely up there. We were on student council senior year.
Yeah.
We did so much
Yeah.
on student council. We accomplished so much. Did the announcements a few times.
That was fun.
I do the announcements sometimes.
Okay, word.
I'm sure it's
Oh.
worse. I'm sure it's
But
worse.
yeah, I think just people were like, Tripp and Ryan. They co-starred in Les Mis.
Oh,
Co-starred in Life.
Senior year, and they were the only
Co-starred in
two
Life.
that were cast in the original cast that are still doing it. So
I'm sure when Becca does the announcements, he goes, well, I mean,
yeah.
and then he raises, he says, this question sucks.
Listen, we talked about how I'm like a journalism major. I don't know if that one's for you.
I'm actually leaving the journalism class. Guys, I know when you open the applause.
Oh, no.
Just you flip to the back, you see
Finish.
question of the month, you say, Becca Carrington, wow, he's so good at what he does. I'm actually going to be retiring from the applause, my
retiring.
applause career.
That's a class.
Yeah.
Instead of I will be taking an AP seminar next year. Anyways,
Okay.
Swipe
y'all.
up for schedule.
Wait, so how did you guys become friends?
No,
This is the best question. This is the best question.
What?
Best
I'm
friends.
glad. I'm glad you asked this. I'm glad you asked this. So, week 1 of freshman year, we were both in vocal,
Yeah.
and it was like, I knew a few people from my middle school, but like still, like my lunch table was pretty lame. Like it was pretty.
Pretty small.
Solo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically. And then one day, I guess it was like after like day 2 of vocal. It was such a weird time, meeting everyone that
It was so weird.
like
yeah.
now we know so well,
Yeah.
like William and Sammy, and
Shout out.
shout out.
No one, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
no one knows who they
they're.
are anymore. I mean,
But it kind of like
What a jab.
happened.
No, it's not
where-
a job. I'm saying that the class that's listening to this right now.
I know that.
All the people that
Yeah.
we know. Well, yeah. You're
But
my
Tripp sat at my little table one
Yeah.
day, and it was probably like the 3rd day.
I think it was the 3rd day. Yeah.
Wednesday.
Where was the table? In the bathroom or like?
No, it
No.
was. But I do remember like.
I remember
Oh,
that
it was
table.
so like.
You know how
I'll
like
admit.
movies.
I think you move. Okay, so this is what happened when we
Yeah,
were.
interrupt the
Yeah,
guest.
yeah, yeah.
Right,
yeah.
interrupt the
The
guest.
interviewer typically lets the
Okay.
interviewer.
Yeah, talk.
But anyway, I would say like we moved from the side of the lunchroom that was closest to the
You can
breezeway,
say it,
right?
that's
Breezeway. That's what they call it, breezeway.
Breezeway.
We were like the second table from the window to the breezeway, and then like I feel like every year we got closer to the other side, and that's where the older people were. Is that still
Is
the
that
case?
true? I didn't
Do
know.
they separate
I
y'all
feel like
by grade?
seniors would.
Not
No, no,
Or was
no.
it just like?
No, 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 they
that's
didn't.
where
It's just
cool.
like where we
Okay.
had this big table senior year
Seniors
on the
sit
other
outside.
side.
Yeah,
Most of the
we used to
seniors
talk
sit
about-
outside.
We don't do that.
We did.
Oh, we did a few times, yeah.
When
I
it was
guess
a
we
nice
did.
day.
Yeah, but we liked that really like long table in the.
I do
In
like
the
I
back.
do like the long.
It's like they have like permanent
Inside,
tables,
it's like
like outside.
Yeah,
like most of the
definitely.
seniors.
I agree with
Yeah.
that.
Maybe we just had too many friends for the circular.
It's a big problem. It's a big problem.
That's not true.
But I remember being really nervous. So I'll admit, like those first days,
Yeah.
being like, man, I don't know, man. Because my middle school, nobody sang or anything, so I was like, I don't know. And then, yeah.
I was really nervous.
wait.
When I started, I was really nervous.
They did sing. In the 8th grade, I believe you performed Beauty and the Beast at Beast Academy.
Oh,
That's-
you went to Venus.
I was in the 7th grade.
7th grade.
Yeah.
And what were you, a candlestick or what?
I was Lumiere. Lumiere.
Nice.
Yes.
How did that affect your life?
I don't know. I mean, performing young helped. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Prepare you for
Well,
the big stage.
Yeah, you're doing great, man. All right.
All right.
Next. Is there more?
What else do you got for us?
When did y'all become like best friends?
Best buds, dude.
thought I asked that.
I don't know if there was a day.
From the moment, from our first conversation.
Yeah.
No, man, I don't know. That's the thing about friendship.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen all at once.
Yeah.
You know?
I will say one thing about like, going away and all your friends going to different parts of the
That's
country.
tough.
It's
Yeah.
really tough. But I think I think a lot of people from SOA, which I don't know if this is the same for other schools, at least for people I know at DePaul, maybe are like Illinois natives, even Chicago natives, and they're not like close with any of their high school friends, which is an okay thing. Like that's fine.
Oh, yeah,
you find friends in college. But it's like for me, there are several people where I can go and like we talk more often than this, but I can go a year without talking to one of these people and it's like no time has passed.
After this episode,
Yeah.
Ryan and Tripp, what will you be doing in the future times?
That's good. That's a good question.
Thank you.
Yeah. Actually, you're welcome. What's next for me is that I graduate in June, and then hopefully I go to grad school. Hopefully in Chicago. Hopefully at Northwestern. We'll see about that.
Whoa.
But, otherwise,
Putting it all out there. Nice.
hopefully grad school.
Yeah.
Somewhere where they have a good program and a good place, and I can do a lot of like experiential learning, where like I can actually apply stuff I learned in the classroom to things not in an extracurricular way, which I do now at DePaul, but like actually the course is like go to the Super Bowl and that's what Northwestern does. Which
That's
is cool.
crazy.
So
Yeah.
but hopefully grad school, and then we'll see. Hopefully Chicago
Nice.
is where I'll be. That's my place. Trip.
What am I going to do after
Yeah.
this? Right after this, I'm going to give you some tips on interviewing. But then,
That's pretty good.
I hope to go, it's kind of similar, I hope to go to law school. And
Yeah.
I'm not going to say which ones, because I don't know. I'm further away than you, you're a year ahead. So, but yeah, right now, the process for, you're supposed to study 6 months for what is called the law school admissions test. So I'm doing that now, and hopefully I score high and,
And I think the why for both of us is that there's still so much more to learn.
true.
Yeah.
Education. Am I
And
right?
life is a school.
Am I right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, but I think like people too, like you say, it's about the people, like professors.
Odin
which is
says
awesome,
that in Thorvik.
and the alumni networks. I think there's just so much to get from more education. I don't want to be done yet. So,
All right.
yeah.
Great.
Keep learning.
Coolio.
Whoa.
Well,
there we go. Yeah.
There we
go
go.
ahead.
Here we go.
I think on 3, we all say, thank you for listening, SOA. Have a wonderful day.
I can do that.
Get ready.
1,
Wait.
2, 3. Thank you for listening, SOA. Have a grateful day.
Oh, where's the applause?
Wonderful, not great, wonderful.
Oh, was it wonderful?
It was wonderful.
We said the same thing,
We
right?
said the same thing.
I think
Great.
it was wonderful.
3 people.
We
say
were on the
great.
same page.